So this morning we're going to practice turning triggers and things that kind of get a little bit under our skin into trailheads as an invitation into a rich journey of self-discovery and even healing and integration. So with that in mind, let's begin to shift the attention inward, either closing the eyes or just casting the eyes downward slightly. And just really honoring that we're practicing this not only for ourselves, but for our children and for generations to come, and even for all people and all beings, all living organisms everywhere. This process of self-realization, of self-discovery. So just taking a moment to allow yourself to bring to mind a little trigger. It doesn't have to be the biggest thing recently that's been hard or overwhelming, and that might be better to save for when you have more support, someone you trust deeply to talk through with you and support you with. It's not maybe your biggest trigger, especially if there's been any trauma. But if it's an interpersonal trigger, if there's a little thing happening recently that's been upsetting or hard, maybe just bring that to mind. And just notice anything that's happening in your body as you're aware of that trigger. And see if there's any visual coming with that, any image of yourself or some part of yourself in that moment of getting triggered or flooded or agitated or activated emotionally. And if there's any emotion that you can acknowledge that's coming up. And just seeing if there's any voice that comes along with this part of you that gets activated, if there's a word or a phrase, or even a sound. And see if you might just notice how you, from your deep, wise, loving self, feel towards this part of you that got activated or triggered in that moment. How do you feel towards it? And just see if you might extend some warmth towards this moment when you got triggered, or this activation of, we could even call it neural networks or neurochemistry that gets activated when you're triggered. Just see if you can extend some warmth towards this experience, this part of you. And if you can't, it's perfectly fine. Just notice how you're feeling towards this instead. And just spend some time being curious about that part of you that's kind of not wanting to send warmth. Just get curious about that. You can even ask that part of you that's not wanting to extend warmth or not able to, or is feeling differently than warm feelings. Just ask it if it'd be willing to step aside so that you and your deep, wise, loving self can extend some warmth to this part of you that gets triggered or activated. Just ask it if it'd be willing to soften its energy a little bit or even stand behind you and watch from behind you. And if it's not willing, then you can just stay there with that part of you that doesn't feel so warm and move through the rest of the exercise with that part of you in mind, getting to know it better. Otherwise, if you can extend some warmth to the part of you that was triggered, go ahead and let it know directly as if you're communicating with another being. Let it know in your own words. Take a few moments to use your own words to let it know that you feel some warmth towards it, that you care about him or her in this moment when they felt overwhelmed or flooded or triggered. So see if you can say those words to this part of you, communicating within. And then just notice how this part of you that was triggered or activated responds to your warmth and care. And just take the next few moments to shine your loving, caring energy on this part of you that was activated. See if you can be there for this part of you in just the way it needs you to be right now. Does it want you to sit next to it? Does it want you to put your arm around it? Not what you want to do, but what does it want you to do? Feel that difference. And ask it how it wants you to be there for it right now. And just take a few more moments, just shining your caring attention on this part of you, just the way it needs you to in the moment. Just beaming your loving presence. And just keep noticing how it's responding to your loving presence. You can just take a moment to ask it what it needs from you. Asking it if there's anything that it needs from you beyond and in addition to this loving presence from you. Maybe that's all it needs. Or maybe there's something else it wants to ask you for. And just take a moment to acknowledge that this is what it's asking for, what it's wanting or needing from you. Reflect back that understanding. I hear you. And that makes sense. And just let this part of you know if you're willing to try to offer it what it's asking for, what it's needing from you. And see if you can begin to bring this to closure for now. Finding a way to just let this part of you know that you'll be back, that you're curious about it. And if it gets activated and triggered, it can let you know and you'll come back to be with it. And maybe you can also spend some time with it, with this part of you when it's not triggered like we're doing right now. To deepen that internal connection and compassionate relationship within. And just see if it would like that. Good. And we can just begin to transition outward, and on our way out, just take a moment to see if you did ask any of these other parts of you to step back or step behind you. The parts that didn't feel warmth towards the triggered part. Just thank them for stepping back or softening their energy a little bit. And you can even check in with them and just notice how they feel now after watching you with your loving, caring self. Shine your caring attention on the triggered part. Just seeing how that was for these parts of you that stepped back. To witness you. To experience that caring energy from you. And then you can gently begin to transition from this internal process, self-discovery process, this integration process, to simply noticing the breath. Just simply becoming more aware of the breath without necessarily deepening the breath just yet. And then we can begin to deepen the breath, transitioning into deep 3-part breathing. Feeling free to bring the right hand to the belly, the left hand to the heart. And exhale fully, press the belly in, exiting all the air out through the nostrils. Good, and slowly inhale, expanding belly, rib cage, collarbones rise. And exhale, collarbones lower, chest lowers, belly deflates. Inhale, expanding belly, rib cage, collarbones rise, and continue at your own slow breathing pace, seeing if you might weave in Mula Bandha root lock on the in-breath. So as you inhale, you can engage the muscles of the perineum, and also imagine drawing the pelvic floor up 3 or 4 flights of stairs. And on the out-breath, slowly lowering the pelvic floor down those 4 flights. And releasing Mula Bandha root lock. So a few more rounds, continuing, following your own pace. That's it, really experiencing yourself as a breathing being and all of the varied sensations that go along with this experience of breath. Good, and after the next long, slow exhalation, you can return the breath back to normal. And unite the palms together in front of the heart or place both hands on the heart. And humbly bow the head down to the openness of heart. And just take a moment to acknowledge and to celebrate that divine spark of life and light that rests deep, deep within you. And take a moment to acknowledge and to celebrate that divine spark of life and light that rests within each of your children. See that light within them and bow to it. And take a moment to acknowledge and to celebrate that divine spark of life and light that rests within all beings everywhere, without exception. Yes. Then you can just stretch the hands down onto the floor out in front and lean forward. So whether you're sitting on your heels or cross-legged, just allowing yourself to lean forward. And if you'd like to switch to sitting on your heels, you can for more of a child's pose position. Just simply take a moment to bow down. To bow down to the things in life that are kind of triggering you or agitating you or activating you somehow. As a trailhead. As a trailhead, the beginning of a path, the beginning of a journey that the universe is calling you to, is inviting you to explore. And it's a trailhead you don't have to go down. But going down that trailhead with support and guidance can deepen your self-discovery and integration and healing process. So just take a nice deep breath to that possibility and invitation that life is giving you. And slowly exhale, honoring choice. There's always a choice. Then you can walk the hands to the left. Lengthen through the right arm, stretching into the right side of the hip and low back. And just breathe into those sensations. Internally connecting with that part that's calling for your attention right now in the body. Take a nice deep breath in, just letting it know I'm right here with you. I'm sensing, I'm hearing, I'm listening. And slowly exhale. And walk the arms forward. And then walk the arms all the way to the right, lengthening through the left arm. Feel how this brings a stretch to the left hip, the left side of the low back. Internally connecting with those sensations that are presenting themselves to you. An invitation to connect. Even here, you can choose to bring the awareness to those sensations or choose to distract yourself from them. See if you might choose to be right there with those sensations in the left hip and left side of the low back, choosing internal connection, compassionate awareness, which facilitates healing and integration. Take a nice deep breath into those sensations. And slowly exhale, walking the arms out in front once again. Good. And then you can roll over the knees, rolling onto the hands and knees, coming onto all fours. And have the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and then walk the hands forward an inch or two. And then we're going to melt the hips forward, lifting head, neck, and chest, drawing the shoulders back and down. Knees can stay on the floor, or you can lift the knees up, engaging the abdomen, drawing the belly button towards the spine to protect the health of the low back. See if it feels best to keep the knees up or lower them back down. Inhale here, opening the heart. And exhale, press back into child's pose, or curl the toes under and lift the hips up high into downward facing dog. And just notice the sensations in either position, with as much compassion as you can cultivate, with that warmth of heart. Good, and come forward and up once again towards upward dog, opening your heart to those parts of yourself that get triggered, or that was recently triggered. Take a deep breath in, opening your heart to that part of yourself, shine some warmth on it. And exhale, press back into child's pose or downward dog. And just bowing down humbly to the triggered part of you as a trailhead. Inhale, come forward and up, opening to the triggered part with warmth of heart. And exhale, bowing down to the triggered part as a trailhead, an invitation to explore and discover. And continue at your own slow breathing pace. Opening to this part of you on the in-breath, and bowing down to the invitation with the out-breath, the invitation to explore, the invitation to discover yourself, the invitation for healing and deeper integration. Pardon. Yes, good. And after the next full round, you can pause, resting either in child's pose or downward facing dog. Good. And just notice what's surfacing, what's bubbling up into your conscious awareness in this moment. Just taking a moment to be present with that, with as much tenderness and care and compassion as you can cultivate in this moment. This is what's coming up for me now. This too I include in my sphere of compassionate awareness. Take a nice deep breath in and slowly exhale. And from here you can bring the arms alongside the legs and lift the torso up. Lifting the body all the way up to standing. Standing near the front of the mat. And grounding, drawing some energy from the thinking, planning mind, also from the analytical mind, the mind that wants to understand everything and think our way through everything. See if you can draw some of that energy down into the body. down into the legs, down into the feet, and feel ourselves connected to something so much greater than our small selves, the earth that holds us, no matter what we're thinking or feeling, no matter how triggered we are. This ground is here for us, this ground of being. So grounding into the earth, lengthen through the legs and spine, shoulders back and down, chest and heart open, and unite the palms together in front of the heart. And extend the arms forward, up and back, and just take a few deep breaths here, opening your arms and your heart wide, especially to the part of you that was triggered recently, the part of you that you focused on in the opening meditation, or some other part, if it's another part is calling for your attention now. And just open your arms and your heart to it, shine some warmth on it if you can. Send your care. Take a deep, rich breath in. Yes, and exhale, hinge forward and bow down to this part of you, to this experience of getting triggered as a trailhead, as a little signal or sign indicating the beginning of a path, of a journey inward. When we're triggered, there's often a lot of very focused energy out towards someone else. And it can be helpful to see our triggered or activated states as an opportunity to do a U-turn from all of that focus outward. Do a U-turn to go back inside ourselves and look within. And what's happening in here? That's the trailhead. So just take a moment to search inside your body right now, scanning for any sensations. And just be present with those sensations. That's one of the most helpful things to do at the beginning of a U-turn is just, okay, I'm focused out there at this person. What's happening in here? What's happening in my body? So just scan inside in this pose right now. Notice what part of the body is speaking to you most right now. Good, and then bend the knees, fingertips in line with the toes, and step the left foot far back. Left knee raised or lowered. Lifting head, neck, and chest. Good, and then squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. Draw the perineum and pelvic floor up. Lift the head, neck, and chest. Lift the heart. Opening our hearts to the part of us that gets activated when we're interacting with someone else out there. Opening our hearts to what's happening in here. Take a nice deep breath in. And then exhale, relax Mula Bandha root lock. Press the knees apart. And bow the head down. Bowing down to the invitation to do a U-turn. And follow that trailhead inward into a journey of self-discovery, healing, and integration. With the breath, inhale, lift head, neck, and chest. Squeeze inner thighs, draw pelvic floor up and in. And exhale, press the knees apart, release Mula Bandha, bow the head down. Inhale, squeezing inward and upward as we lift the chest, opening our hearts to the triggered part. And exhale, bowing down to the call to turn inward and discover. Continue at your own slow breathing pace. Little, very subtle, mostly isometric flow. Good. After the next full round, you can lift the head, neck, and chest. Take a nice deep breath in lunge pose. And exhale, right leg back, downward dog or plank pose. You can also move to plank pose or all fours, in and out. So just spend a moment there if you want to, and then come back to downward dog or all fours. This can be a still pose, it could be a gentle flow. See what serves you best this morning. Always remembering that there's choice. In every great story on the hero's journey, there's a young lad or a young gal, and the choice is given to them. There's an invitation, there's a call to go on this incredible adventure. And there's often a choice point. Am I going to do this or not? And often what helps the person say yes is a friend, a companion, someone to be with them on this journey somehow, a guide or a friend, a mentor. So really acknowledging the importance of finding resources for ourselves as we proceed on this journey of self-discovery. It's very difficult to do this alone. So from here, come forward and up, either knees, chest, and chin, or slithering down, or chaturanga into upward dog if you have a chaturanga practice. Tuck the chin, press the hands down and back towards the feet. Engage Mula Bandha, root lock. Press the belly button towards the spine, even in this back bend. And then lift the chest more fully. Inhale here, opening the heart to the triggered part. And exhale, bow the head humbly down to this part of you and to the call to discover this part of you more fully. You can press the hands down and forward, relax the legs. Inhale, lift head, neck, and chest, press hands down and back. Exhale, bow the head down, press hands down and forward. Inhale, opening the heart to this activated part of you. And exhale, bow down to this triggered part as a trailhead, the beginning of a rich journey inward. And continue at your own slow breathing pace. Just practicing, acknowledging the trigger, and then seeing it as an invitation to turn inward and discover. Acknowledging the trigger, the activation, and then seeing the opportunity to make a U-turn. Good. After the next full round, you can pause. And press the hands down and lift the hips up high, downward facing dog. A.J. Must writes, "When the self has been confronted, when the hidden has been brought to the surface, the perhaps paradoxical result is not horror and paralysis. They come when the hidden has not been faced, but release and new birth." When the self has been confronted, when the hidden has been brought to the surface, the perhaps paradoxical result is not horror and paralysis. They come when the hidden has not been faced, but release and new birth. You can look between the hands and step the left foot forward between the hands, right knee raised or lowered, lifting head, neck, and chest. just opening our hearts to the activated part, the triggered part, that we might be unknowingly running from by focusing our energy out there on the person who did the thing or said the thing that triggered us. And instead, we're trying something a little different and new, maybe, by turning towards ourselves and the part of us that's triggered and just shining some warmth with our open hearts. So feel your heart open. Lift your heart, squeeze the inner thighs, draw the perineum up and in. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale, bow the head humbly down, relax the legs, releasing Mula Bandha root lock. Inhale, lifting head, neck, and chest, opening our hearts to the triggered part. And exhale, bowing down to the invitation to turn inward and explore what's unfolding within us. And continue at your own pace, this very subtle flow. In the in-breath, honoring the triggered part, opening our hearts to it. And on the out-breath, making a U-turn. Really seeing that trailhead. Good, and after the next full round of this little mini flow, you can relax. Lift the head, neck, and chest into the lunge pose. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, shift the weight into the left foot. Pull the right foot slowly forward. And bow down in Uttanasana, forward fold. And just take a moment to consider any mentors or companions that have supported you on your journey of self-discovery. And also calling on resources from the beyond. Maybe a loving pet that's now deceased. Or maybe a pet that's still living, whose energy just always feels like it's with you. Maybe an ancestor who cares deeply about you. Or maybe some aspect of nature that truly holds you, that nourishes you and supports you. Just calling on resources on this journey of self-discovery. And also opening to resources that are still yet to come. A friend, a mentor, a therapist or guide who can support you with your self-discovery process. From here, extend the arms forward or out to the sides, lifting the torso up, lifting the arms up, leaning into the toes, arching up and back. Opening to all of those resources inside of you and around you and beyond you as you open your heart to this part of you that gets activated. And just feel yourself full of resource, of loving energy and support as you shine your open heart towards this part of you that gets activated. Just kind of saying to this part of you, we're all here for you and we care about you. We're interested in understanding you more. We're here to help. Take a nice deep breath into that experience. Shining your heart energy on the activated part, and exhale, unite the palms together and slide the hands down to the level of the heart. And just take a moment to close the eyes and humbly bow the head to this part of you. Good, bringing the head back to center. Exhale fully. Inhale the arms forward, up and back, opening the heart to the activated part. And exhale, bow down to this part of you as a trailhead for self-discovery. Inhale, right foot back, lift head, neck, and chest, opening the heart to the triggered part. And exhale, left foot back, bowing down to the U-turn. That's available here. Inhale, come forward and up into cobra or upward dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward, opening your heart to the triggered part. And exhale, left foot forward, bowing down to the U-turn. Inhale, arms forward, up and back, embracing the triggered part more fully. And exhale, palms to the heart. Inhale, arms forward, up and back, opening your heart to the activated part. And exhale, bow down to the trailhead. Inhale, left foot back, opening your heart to the activated part. And exhale, right foot back, downward dog, bowing down to the beginning of this journey. Inhale, come forward and up into cobra or upward dog, opening your heart to the activated part. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, opening your heart to the activated part. And exhale, right foot forward, bow the head humbly to it. Inhale, arms forward, up and back, opening your heart to the activated part. And exhale, palms to the heart. Inhale the arms forward, up and back, opening your heart to the triggered part. And exhale, bow down to this opportunity of a trailhead. Inhale, right foot back, lift head, neck, and chest, open the heart. Exhale, left foot back, bow down to the trailhead as the beginning of a rich inner journey. Inhale, come forward and up into cobra, opening your heart to the trigger. Exhale, bow the head down to the trailhead. Inhale, right foot forward, lifting head, neck, and chest, opening your heart to the activated part. And exhale, left foot forward, bow the head down to the trailhead. Inhale the arms forward, up and back, opening your heart to the activated part. And exhale, palms to the heart. Pause here. Standing tall, closing the eyes, bringing the awareness inward. And just notice. Notice any sensations or emotions, any visual imagery, any thoughts percolating. Just noticing them. And just sending a message to your system. I care about all of you. All of you are welcome here. And just notice how your system responds to your caring and inclusive message. Good, and exhale fully. Inhale the arms forward, up and back. And exhale, hinge forward and bow down. And bring the hands to the shins, straighten the arms, lift the torso up halfway. And see if you can bend the knees enough so that the top of the pelvic bowl rocks down, like you're pouring a pitcher of water towards the floor. Swinging the tip of the tailbone back and up a little bit, lifting head, neck, and chest, opening the heart. Just shining the heart on the parts of you that get activated and triggered. then you can bow the head down, slide the hands down the shins to the ankles or heels. Bowing down to the many, many opportunities that life presents us with to take a trailhead on this journey of self-discovery. Knowing maybe the time's not right. Maybe we don't have that companion or guide that will help us feel confident enough to begin that trailhead journey. There's always choice. Bring the hands to the shins, lifting head, neck, and chest. Take a nice deep breath in, opening our heart to the trigger. And exhale, bowing down, just acknowledging the trailhead, whether we choose to walk down that path of healing or not. Inhale, hands to the shins, lifting the torso up, acknowledging the trigger. And exhale, bow down, acknowledging the trailhead, the call, the invitation to explore. And continue at your own slow breathing pace. There's always choice. For reasons that might not make sense to anyone else, it might not be the right time to walk down that path. Only you will know what feels right. It's only yours to know. There's always choice. But after the next exhalation, you can pause. Fingertips in line with the toes. Step the left foot far back, left knee raised or lowered. Good, and then you can bring the right arm to the inside of the right leg. Right hand onto the floor near the right foot. And then extend the left arm out to the side and up. Open the heart wide. Some of you will stay here. Others might explore, pressing back through the heel, lifting the knee up. It's a pretty active position, so feel free to lower the knee back down. Inhale here, open the heart wide. And exhale, lower the left hand down. And you can either keep the knee raised or lower it back down if you'd prefer. Then bring the right hand to the right thigh, rotate the belly towards the thigh, and lift the right arm up to the sky. And a bit of a twist. Squeeze the inner thighs towards each other, draw the perineum up and in, opening the heart. Opening our heart to all of the parts inside of us, especially the activated parts. They tend to need our compassionate presence the most. Take a deep, rich breath in, opening the heart, and exhale, lower the right hand down, bow the head. Just take a moment to integrate. Good. Lift the head, neck, and chest. Take a nice deep breath in, opening the heart to the activated parts of ourselves. And exhale, right foot back, downward dog or plank pose. And pause here for a few breaths in downward dog. And then you can lift the left leg up to the sky. Bend the left knee and rotate the left hip up, stretching the left quadricep and hip flexor. Take a nice deep breath in. Feel those sensations of opening and stretch. And exhale, pull the left knee forward between the hands for one-legged pigeon pose. Walk the right foot back. And some of you will find that this is too intense for your body, or if there's any hip or knee injury, you might want to just roll onto the back and just hug the left knee into the chest. Otherwise, you can inhale, arching up and back. Open the heart, the activated parts. And exhale, walk the hands forward, bow the head, lowering down. tuning in. And I'll read you these words by Peter Levine, who's a trauma therapist. And this is a longer section, so if you need to rest or come out of the pose, please feel free to do so. He writes, because we have experienced intolerable sensations and feelings in the past, our tendency is to actively avoid them. Mentally, we split off or dissociate these feelings. Physically, our bodies tighten and brace against them. We seem to live under the assumption that if we allow ourselves to feel these feelings and sensations, they'll overwhelm us forever. Then, in an attempt to manage them, we tend to rely on food, drugs, medications, and alcohol to try to make these feelings go away. We've lost the confidence that we can learn to tolerate, to contain them, without outside help. The fear of being consumed by these overwhelming feelings leads us to believe that only not feeling them will make them go away. This assumption simply is not true. Fighting against or hiding from unpleasant or painful sensations and feelings will generally make things worse. The more they are avoided, the more energy is spent keeping them at bay. Energy that could have been used for feeling alive and open to new experiences. What is not felt remains unchanged or gains an inward pressure. This forces people to step up their methods of avoidance and defense. And this is the sort of vicious cycle that trauma creates. Abandoned feelings call out for attention. Abandoned feelings call out for attention. So just take a moment to notice what's percolating for you as you digest this information. And just take a moment to lovingly be with that. And see if you can shine some warmth on it. Whatever's there, just shine warmth. Take a nice deep breath in. And allow for a long, slow exhalation. Good. Gently lift the torso up, walking the hands back to the knee. Arching up and back. Take a nice deep breath in, opening the heart space. And exhale, slide the left knee back. Curl the toes under, lift the hips up high, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up. Bend the right knee and rotate the right hip up. Feel the sensations on the front of the right thigh and hip. Breathe into that stretch that's opening there. Integrating those sensations with your awareness. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, pull the right knee forward between the hands. Walk the left foot back. Feel free to roll onto the back if there's any hip or knee injury that you need to tend to. And then arching back. Bend the elbows, shoulders back and down, arching up and back. Open the heart to yourself and anything that's there. Calling out for attention. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, walk the hands forward, bow the head down, maybe slide the elbows out to the sides. And I'll read this again. So once again, feel free to come out of the pose, rest in child's pose, or roll onto the back at any time. And I do apologize for my clearing my throat today. So Peter Levine writes, because we have experienced intolerable sensations and feelings in the past, our tendency is to actively avoid them. Mentally, we split off or dissociate these feelings. Physically, our bodies tighten and brace against them. We seem to live under the assumption that if we allow ourselves to feel these feelings and sensations, they'll overwhelm us forever. We tend to rely on food, drugs, medications, and alcohol in an attempt to manage them and make these feelings go away. We've lost the confidence that we can learn to tolerate, to contain them without outside help. The fear of being consumed by these overwhelming feelings leads us to believe that only not feeling them will make them go away. This assumption simply is not true. Fighting against or hiding from unpleasant or painful sensations and feelings generally makes things worse. The more they are avoided, the more energy is spent keeping them at bay. Energy that could have been used for feeling alive and open to new experiences. What is not felt remains unchanged or gains an inward pressure. This forces people to step up their methods of avoidance and defense. And this is the sort of vicious cycle that trauma creates. Abandoned feelings call out for attention. Take a nice deep breath in as you integrate and digest. Long, slow exhalation, just shining some warmth and care on whatever's there for you right now. You can walk the hands back to the knee, lifting the torso up, arching up and back, opening the heart to anything that's bubbling up to the surface of your awareness right now. Take a nice deep breath in, opening your heart to all of those pieces that are surfacing. And exhale, slide the left toes under, slide the right foot back, downward facing dog. And just take a few moments to integrate. Good. Look between the hands. Step the left foot forward between the hands, right knee raised or lowered. And bring the left arm to the inside of the left leg. Some of you will stay here. Others of you will open the right arm out to the side and up. You can walk the left foot out to the left a little bit if you need to for more stability and support. Some of you will stay here. Others might press the right heel back to lift the right knee up. See what feels best for you. You can either look down or forward or up. Opening the heart even when we're in this challenging pose, this challenging moment. See if you can open the heart. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Lower the right hand down. You can either lower the right knee down or keep it raised, your choice. Left hand to left thigh, rotate belly towards the thigh. And then lift the left arm up to the sky, opening the heart. This is an active pose, it's a challenging pose, it's a challenging position we're in. See if you can shine some warmth on yourself, on your body. In the midst of this challenge, that's the practice. Take a deep, rich breath in, opening our hearts to ourselves in this challenging moment. And exhale, lower the left hand down. Bow the head. Take a moment to integrate the practice. Good. Take a nice deep breath in. Lift the head, neck, and chest. Open the heart to yourself. And exhale. Step the back foot forward. You might need to do that slowly. You just step the right foot forward to meet the left. Inhale the arms forward, up and back, opening your heart to yourself. And exhale, palms to the heart, close the eyes, tune in and integrate for a few breaths. Just noticing what's unfolding within you. Dijon says, let go of the judgments that arise. As Spirit says, this is how I unfold. So just notice how your inner life is unfolding right now within you. Ah, this too I include. Good. And sustaining that inner connection, you can release the arms, softly open the eyes. And you can lay down onto the back. Just taking a moment in Shavasana, a brief moment's rest before we continue on. Just actively relaxing, actively releasing tension, actively softening into the space around you. Yeah, take a nice deep breath in and slowly exhale. And then you can bend the knees. Have the heels beneath the knees, the feet about hip width apart and parallel, and press the feet down, lifting the hips up. Engage Mula Bandha root lock. Draw the muscles of the perineum up and in. Press the belly button towards the spine to engage the core. And then you can walk the shoulders towards each other. You can press the palms down into the earth or interlace the fingers. And then bring your attention to the heart center and open the heart. In this limited position, there's not much more we can do. There's not much more room for expansion physically. And we're often that way when we're interacting with someone in a challenging moment. There's not much more we can do. We can't change that other person out there. So tune into the heart center. Notice how there's so much we can do energetically. If we can tap the richness and warmth of the heart. Just take a few moments to feel the heart expand. Feel the vastness of your heart. And the person who needs that heart energy the most when you're in a difficult moment with someone is you. Start with yourself. What's happening inside of me? So often we unknowingly abandon ourselves in those moments. That's why the trailhead is so helpful. It's a little reminder that we can make a U-turn and come back home to ourselves and be present for ourselves in this difficult moment. So take a nice deep breath in, press the feet down, lift the hips up just a little more, open the heart, expand the heart, feel its spaciousness, and then exhale, lift the heels up, keep the toes down, lift the heels up, And take a few breaths as you extend the arms out to the side, slowly rolling the back down, vertebra by vertebra, part by part, sensing yourself from the inside. That's what the U-turn does. It helps us sense ourselves from the inside with a non-abandoning presence. Good. Hug the knees into the chest. And then you can lift the soles of the feet up to the sky, take hold of the outer edges of the feet, knees towards the armpits, blissful baby pose. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, fully, gently release the feet and roll all the way over onto the side and just pause in a curled up fetal position for a moment's rest. Just curling up sweetly with yourself. Just a moment of integration. Good. Press the hands down, lift the torso up. Soft face, soft eyes as we bring the legs out in front. Hands to the thighs, shoulders back and down. Feel free to bend the knees softly like mine are. This just helps tilt the top of the pelvic bowl forward to protect the health of the back. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, hinge forward from the hips, bowing down. Not trying to get anywhere in the pose. See if you can surrender that habitual striving. And instead tune into the sensations that are unfolding. The rich orchestra of sensations in your legs and lower back right now. Listening. Listening inwardly all the time. And honoring those cues. Honoring those messages and signals the body's giving us. To awaken. To awaken to all that's here within us right now. Kafka writes, you can hold back from the suffering. You have free permission to do so, and it's in accordance with your nature. But perhaps this very holding back is the one suffering you could have avoided. So he's saying, our triggers are signals, trailheads showing us that there's some suffering here that needs our attention, the abandoned feelings that are calling out for attention. And we can choose to hold back from the suffering, to not walk down that path that the trailhead is pointing us to. But perhaps this holding back, this turning away from that trailhead is the one suffering that we could have avoided. And Ajahn Chah writes, to run away from suffering is actually to run towards it. And Joko Beck says, we have to face the pain we've been running from. We need to rest in it and let its searing power transform us. We have to face the pain we've been running from. We need to rest in it and let its searing power transform us. So he is not giving much choice. He's kind of directing us, but there's always choice. There's always choice. Exhale fully. Inhale, lift the torso up, lift the arms up, taking a few deep breaths and opening up to support, opening up to resources within you, opening up to higher self and also higher power beyond you, aspects of nature that can support us on this healing journey, aspects of nature that can hold us as we take a hike or sit by the waves of the beach and self-reflect, perhaps with a friend. The ancestors or the animals in our lives that have loved us unconditionally, that can be with us and help support us on these journeys. Their energy, the memory of them, can be with us. And any religious or spiritual figures, just call them in to support you with your journey of self-discovery and healing and integration. Take a nice deep breath in, calling on all of the support for yourself on your journey ahead. And exhale, lean back and bring the arms out to the sides and send the other mothers in the circle. Lots of loving support and camaraderie, companionship. We need each other on this healing journey. Our care for each other matters. Remembering that we're not the only ones who have triggers matters. So feel each other's support and wishes for support. Just send some wishes to the other women that they may find the support they need to discover some of those trailheads, to start walking that path. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale, slowly lowering all the way down, belly button towards spine on the way down. And hug the knees into the chest and just take a moment to receive the care from the other women. Receive that companionship and support. Remembering you're not alone on your journey. Good. Take a nice deep breath in. And slowly exhale, bring the arms out to the sides. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale, knees to the right, head rolls heavy on the floor towards the left. Good. Inhale, knees to the chest. And exhale, knees to the left, head rolls heavy on the floor towards the right. And continue at your own slow breathing pace. See if you can turn inward. And listen to the symphony of sensations as they unfold within you. Just listening to that inner music, the dance of sensations. Gracing that inner music with your awareness. And even taking another step to send a caring message to all that's unfolding within you right now. I care about you. And I'm here for you. And just notice how your system responds. Good. After the next full round, you can pause. Reclining on the back, or you can Sit next to the wall or chair or couch or bed and swing the legs up the wall or chair or couch or bed. And whether you're reclining on the back or in legs up the wall pose, just allowing your body to relax. Actively relaxing, actively releasing, actively letting go of tension, just softening into the space around you for the next few minutes. Actively letting go. Very gently begin to invite the awareness back home to the breath. Take a deep, rich breath in and slowly exhale. And gently invite the awareness back to the physical body, gently awakening, re-inhabiting the physical self more fully, maybe with some subtle micro movements or gentle stretch. And you can gently roll all the way over onto the side. And just pause in a curled up fetal position for a moment, lovingly beholding yourself. And you can press the hands into the earth, lifting the body up to seated. Coming to a comfortable seated position. Closing the eyes, checking the posture. And feeling free to bring the hands to the heart. Rainer Maria Rilke writes, "Have patience with everything unresolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves as if they were locked rooms or books written in a very foreign language. Don't search for the answers, which could not be given to you now, because you would not be able to live them. The point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps then, someday in the future, you will gradually, without even noticing it, live your way into the answer. Have patience with everything unresolved in your heart. In honor of this, we offer ourselves and each other, our children, and all beings a deep, humble bow and namaste. Namaste. So we'll come back in about 5 minutes, around 10:28 or 10:29. And feel free to bring some tea, a nice warm cozy blanket for our sharing circle. I'll see you soon.